Black fatigue. It's all over my FYP page.
We're going to circle back to that, I promise.
Thank you. I am so happy that this is being brought up. And oh, by the way, for us white people that have been around the block a long time, this isn't new to us. We've been dealing with this for over 40 years. Here's my story.
I'm going to save you the 7-minute racist story that he goes on to tell. I'm just curious. This is what makes you happy? Additionally, this is what happiness looks like? You look like you're a dime short of 10 cents. These people are falling all over themselves to come on the internet and tell us how for 40 years they've just been suffering in racist silence, and now they think it's fine to tell the general public about their true beliefs, which is how racist they are. And gee willikers, I wonder where they got that idea. Taking the term black fatigue away from black people and co-opting it into a phrase that means I'm tired of black people is just about the most on-the-nose white person thing to fucking do. Also, FYP page, what you're saying is For You page. Grandpa, read a book. Log off.
Black fatigue is real. Everybody is tired of black people, but it's two specific types of black people that everyone is tired of.
Number one, you asking for a friend. You know, this co-opting of the term black fatigue is crazy, but also entirely predictable, right? And while I certainly don't have black fatigue, and certainly the way that he means, but I got my own areas of fatigue. I got idiot fatigue. I got ignorance fatigue. I got racist fatigue. I got xenophobic fatigue. I got homophobic fatigue. Dealing with these MAGAs on this app or anywhere on social media will give you these things. I've got discounting education and experience in favor of utter nonsense fatigue. I got terminology fatigue. You know, they use the term conservative when really they mean to say racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic. Conservative values are not those things traditionally. Conservative values are small government, states' rights, conservative spending, frugalness when it comes to spending our money. Those are conservative values, not what you call conservatism now. I've got white women always thinking that their point is the most important point in the discussion, fatigue. And lastly, at least for now, I've never been to school or studied the Constitution, but I have very strong opinions about the Constitution, fatigue. But y'all can get the fuck out of here with, I have fatigue because black folks have been too honest in the feedback that they give me. That's not fatigue, that's just you justifying your own racism.
I've been hearing a lot about black fatigue recently, and I want to talk about it, but I can't do it here at home. We gotta go on a trip. So here we are. We are at Plaza Ferdinand VII, and that's a Confederate monument. And you wouldn't know it for looking at it, but this park you see behind me, 2 men were lynched here. Across the street, we have the Pensacola Museum of History. And there's a little sign right over there, remembering votes for women, and that somebody spoke here. And despite how beautiful this park looks, calm and serene, 2 men hung from lampposts. Not these ones, because the lampposts have changed since their deaths. There are all kinds of signs and monuments at this park. We have the excavation of a British fort map of downtown Pensacola, statue dedicated to President Jackson, plaques commemorating a trail, big old cannons pointing to nothing, fun signs on the trash can to remind people to throw away their trash, dance moves, but absolutely nothing commemorating the deaths that happened here. Oh, but Ben, that happened so long ago. Tell that to this guy. His aunt, Lily Davis, was unalived by somebody. And the man that they captured, Leander Shaw, never saw his day in court. Why? Because he was dragged here to this park and hung from one of the lampposts. That woman's niece was also here, even though this happened over 100 years ago. Her niece and nephew were here protesting. What were they protesting? They were protesting that the Equal Justice Initiative was collecting soil from the location of every lynching in the United States, including here in Pensacola. The organizers of that event allowed them to put up a photo of Miss Davis and light a candle in her memory. But despite the fact that Leander Shaw never saw a day of court, they still think he was guilty. We have no idea if he did this or not. So all of you out there complaining about black fatigue, I'm tired of this kind of shit. I'm tired of white people complaining about things that happened in the past. I'm tired of white people blaming black people for things that they didn't do or preventing them getting a day in court. We see it today with Carmelo Anthony. He needs to get his day in court. So many white people, especially on this app, they just want to call him guilty and be done with it. Where just a few decades ago, they'd have had no problem collecting a posse so that afterwards they can celebrate. Whiskey for my men and beer for my horses. I really wish people who look like me could remember the words of a wise woman who once said, you should be happy that black people are looking for equality and not revenge. I hope you all have a good day.
Yeah, white fatigue is not fucking real. Of course it's not fucking real. Are you kidding me? White fatigue is what very clearly racist white people will try to hide behind because they're tired of having to tiptoe around certain people in certain settings because they don't know how to tell what they are and are not allowed to say anymore. And they hate the concept of not being allowed to say something. My parents will never shut the fuck up about this. It's harder for racist white people these days to tell what they can and cannot say in certain settings, and they don't know if they're going to face consequences or not. So they are fatigued of trying to figure that out. They are tired of trying to censor themselves and trying to figure out when they do and do not have to. That's the only thing that they're tired of. They're tired of being called out for their racism. That is literally it.
Hi there. Just yelling into the void. So, there's something I've been suffering from since about 2015. I like to call it white fatigue. Yeah. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with your petty prejudices. I'm exhausted with your casual racism. I'm exhausted with your complete lack of self-awareness. I'm exhausted with your misplaced superiority. I'm exhausted with you thinking you're not the problem. I am exhausted with your fear of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it is a fear. It's not normal to be afraid of those things. It's something you've been taught. I am sick of your pearl clutching about trans and LGBTQ people and how you're going to explain that to your children. I am sick of your pious version of prosperity Christianity, where because you believe a certain way or read a certain book, that somehow you are deserving of all that is good in the universe. And that's why you have everything that's good in the universe, not because of systems that are put in place to benefit you. Yeah. I am sick of you telling me about the vacations that you go on where you either stay on a super controlled resort or a cruise ship and then tell me you went someplace. You didn't. You changed locations, but you didn't actually go on a vacation unless you interacted with local people and tried to learn something about the culture. I am sick of you assuming incorrectly that the way someone speaks, that their dialect or accent determines their intelligence, because I assure you it does not, especially in the case of Black Americans. I am sick of your upholding white supremacy. I am sick of 90% of everything that white people do. I am sick of people making excuses for their bad behavior. I am sick of it. Really freaking sick of it. And that is why my circle is super small and I don't try to engage, because what's the point? What's the point? These people are beyond help and they give me fatigue, downright exhaustion. You're on my last nerve. That's my rant. Bye for now.
TikTok, this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended to bully or harass the fucking honkies on this app. I'm white, so I can say that. So I guess the new buzz phrase is black fatigue, which is not so coded language for our racist brethren in this country. And just so you guys know, I don't have white guilt. I'm not ashamed of my own whiteness. I'm ashamed of you motherfuckers. Fucking people named Cheryl and Todd. If you're named Cheryl or Todd and you're not a racist shitbag, I'm sorry. But this fucking timeline that we're existing in right now, the upside down where people can just be out and proud racist, is fucking extraordinary. Just say you're tired of black people. Stop coding it as black fatigue. And put your fucking hoods back on so we can identify you.
Black fatigue. It's all over my FYP page. Thank you.
Yes, Steve. For 40 years, I've been dealing with racist fucking pigs like yourself. 40 years. Us white people, we hate fucking racists. You're a pig. Does your wife know you're gay?
You know what I'm getting? I'm getting white fatigue. And you know why? Is because every time I see a hashtag black fatigue post, in the comment section are these virulent, disgusting, nasty, redneck, hillbilly morons just chiming in. I mean, it's bad enough that the hashtag black fatigue posts are basically racist saying, I'm a racist, I don't like black people, and here's why. And they're going on and puking out every reason why they hate black people. And they're calling it black fatigue. And then the comment section are white people just puking out the same garbage. And it's Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump every step of the way. Now that he's in office, it's like, hey, don't hold back. Tell him how you really feel. Man, you don't like black. Tell him why. Tell him why you don't like it. In fact, encourage everybody. Get them all together. In fact, y'all should join a group, and y'all should wear white hoods, and you should have a uniform and a pointy white. You should just join and make a club of all of you that have black fatigue. What could we call it? White people are making me so sad these days. You're embarrassing me. You're making me sick. I don't want to say it because I'll get banned. But y'all are embarrassing me. God help us. God help us.
Black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. She'll be watching her back for the rest of her life. Yeah, 'cause that's not thuggery, hoodrattery, animalistic. This is why people have black fatigue. When you act like this, it's not normal behavior.
So I had not initially seen these two now deleted videos from a woman who was attempting to talk about what happened in Rochester, Minnesota, where a white mom called a 5-year-old child the N-word, doubled down on her racial slur, and then flipped off that kid's family. And how after that incident went viral all over the internet, a Christian fundraising site called Give, Send, Go raised over $700,000, but not for that little kid who had to endure that woman's racial slurs. No. They raised $700,000 for the white mom yelling racial slurs at a 5-year-old child. After the mom doubled down on the content in that video saying, and I quote, I called the kid out for what he was, a Christian fundraising platform raised more than $700,000 for that woman. A GoFundMe page for her also raised almost $400,000. Now, my understanding is that both of those organizations are not going to be giving that woman that money, because fundraising a bunch of money to support a woman being a racist violates their terms of service. So obviously, internet discourse has blown up over this subject, with racists saying that people being mad at this mom are participating in cancel culture. And again, they all want to throw a bunch of money at her and affirm her racist behavior that she doubled down on. And then you have folks on the other side who are saying a small child had to endure intentional, racist, hateful behavior, a verbal attack from an adult. And what does it say about our country that she felt free to treat a child that way? and then doubled down on her racism afterward and was also flooded with support from people who were like, hell yeah, girl, be a total shitbag to a little kid, lob those racial slurs at a child. Like, what does that say about our country? So this woman, whose videos I showed you at the beginning, she thought she had some meaningful contribution to this conversation, where she said, yeah, okay, it wasn't okay that this woman did this, but all of American society has black fatigue. First off, girlfriend, your little racist backwater does not represent all of American society, and how fucking dare you think you speak for all of us? Now, I want to take a quick little tangent here because initially I had not seen these videos, but I had seen a number of creators I follow talking about black fatigue. Now, these were all black creators who were referencing apparently this woman's videos, but I was confused because I had not heard the term black fatigue used that way. I thought black fatigue was referencing the exhausting experience of being a black person in the United States of America. How the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow, how institutionalized racism, generational poverty, and the unending, exhausting push for racial justice in this country are causing black people to feel a bone-deep, spiritually deep level of fatigue. Right? And so I was confused about the term black fatigue being used to basically mean like white people are tired of having to not be overtly racist. White people are tired of having to like witness black people living their lives or see elements of black culture. Like I didn't understand what was happening. Right? Because in my mind, I'm thinking black fatigue, like the book that Mary Frances Winters wrote in 2020 called Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit. Winter's book describes how in every aspect of life, from economics to education to work, criminal justice, and very importantly, health outcomes, the trajectory for black people is not improving. That the book is trying to illuminate the myriad dire consequences of living while black. And then I saw that woman's videos and I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it. Once again, white people are co-opting black people's terminology and twisting something important, a really crucial concept that we need to understand. And they're twisting it into something it didn't originally mean. They're twisting it into something poisonous and dirty and offensive. Right? Just like DEI originally was about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Really good, positive things. And the Trump regime has twisted it to mean something negative in the eyes of many Americans now. Right? It's not unlike how conservatives took the term woke and they twisted it into something that now has a negative connotation. They appropriated the word and then tried to transform it into an insult. Right? It's obviously crystal fucking clear that the woman at the beginning of this video is out and proud about her racism, right? Black fatigue to her means I'm tired of having to look at black people. I'm tired of having to interface with black people living their lives. I'm uncomfortable with black culture. I'm uncomfortable with any behavior out of a very narrow, polite range of what is expected of white people. I feel distress when I see people who are behaving in ways that do not conform to my white Christian version of politeness. But like even more than that, I think what she's saying with black fatigue is I am tired of having to face institutional racism. I'm tired of having to look at black people when they show me, they demonstrate to me that racism is alive and well in this culture, that generational poverty is alive and well in this culture, that racial discrimination is alive and well in this culture. I don't like having to look at that. That makes me really uncomfortable. Right? And notice how she's so freely, easily dehumanizes the appearance of black people, the behavior of black people, the culture of black people. She chooses to use terms like ratchet, like thug, like animalistic. And I realized watching her videos a couple times over that when she says black fatigue, what she really means is the white woman's right to comfort. I don't want to have to look at things or people that make me feel any level of distress, that make me uncomfortable in any way. The prioritization of my comfort must be put above all else, including like black people's right to live their lives. So what this woman is saying is that she is uncomfortable watching black people living their lives, either because so many components of black culture don't meet the societal etiquette, politeness expectations that are put on white people, or her racism makes her intolerant of having to look at black people, witness black culture, or because on some level her discomfort is tied to guilt and shame. She does not like having to look at, be faced with any of the evidence of racial injustice, of black oppression, of systemic poverty that are widespread in this country. That makes her very uncomfortable. She doesn't want to see Black people living their lives, especially based on the way that she's describing the Black behavior in Black people that make her uncomfortable, Black people in poverty. The white woman's right to comfort is saying that protecting the feelings of white women, making sure that they do not feel any amount of discomfort or distress over justice and over the lives of other people. Black fatigue is just the white woman's right to comfort repackaged in a way that tries to blame Black people for white women having no distress tolerance and no ability or desire to want to face their own racism and unpack it. It's saying, I, the protected white woman, have low emotional literacy and fragile feelings. And being reminded of my privilege and the fragility of my feelings, that's Black people's fault. That is what Black fatigue means when conservatives say it. That's what that woman meant when she used the term Black fatigue. Like so many other systemic problems in our culture, so much discrimination, so much injustice, it all ties back to the institutions of white supremacy and patriarchy, which absolutely perpetuate the white woman's right to comfort.